Welcome to Commander Tuneups. Today, we're doing Lord Windgrace.
We're going to show you that, hey, lands matter too.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. If you want to contribute to our exceedingly fast-growing success, better give us a subscription.
That's how you're going to end that. Okay, and besides, you want to be subscribed to this channel because our subscribers are 10% more likely to land the promotion.
Disclaimer guy here, and if I ever see Disclaimer man again, he's going to be sleeping with the fishes. Also, Nitpicking Nerds not responsible.
I'd say that's pretty funny considering the deck we're doing today. But first, what is Commander Tuneups?
Commander Tuneups is a series where we take your now patron and donator submitted deck. So if you donate to us or you're a patron, that's how we get these decks now. We take it under your restrictions. This is a $150 budget. No fetch lands deck. That's pretty much it. And no mass land destruction. Those are the three restrictions we are working with. And we tune that deck up. So we're doing Lord Windgrace today.
We are.
What does that man do?
Well, he's 2 and a Jund for a 5 loyalty legendary Planeswalker Windgrace. +2, discard a card, then draw a card. If a land card is discarded this way, draw an additional card. -3, return up to 2 target land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. -11, destroy 6 non-land permanents, then make 6 2/2 cats with Forest Walk. This is a Lands Matter commander. That last ability is so unrelated to what the rest of the card is. It's his plus and his minus.
Yes. So what is this deck trying to do overall?
Recycle lands from your hand, play, and in graveyard, get enters triggers, and then just take advantage of the fact that we have 20 lands in play and they don't.
Exactly. We are going to have so many lands in play, it's going to be crazy.
So many lands, in fact, that the first category is lands.
Wow.
How about that? Go figure.
Who would have thought? So we're just going to talk about some of the lands we got in the deck. So the first thing in our lands category, we got some cycling lands.
Cycling. They go to the graveyard for Lord Windgrace to get them back and then draw you a card.
Yeah. Great synergy. Perfect. So we got the cycling lands, the single ones, Trickle Thicket, Barrymore, and Forgotten Caves all cycle for one of the color that they tap for, which is a red, a green, or a black.
And Shelter Thicket is a red-green tap land that has forest mountain types. You cycle it for 2.
Yeah.
Totally reasonable either way.
Yeah. Completely reasonable. And then you throw them in the graveyard, draw a card, minus Windgrace, get them back.
Yeah, just good synergy with Windgrace's minus, especially since we're not adding fetch lands. There's fetch lands in here, but we're not allowed to add any. So if we can't do that, you add cycling lands. That's the next best thing.
Yeah, because fetch lands are obviously, but
I don't know how much I want to mention this, but these lands are in the deck and they're some of the best ones. Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, Cabal Coffers. If we ever mention needing mana, keep these in mind. We have ways to find lands. We have ways to get lands back. Windgrace digs for lands, so these are amazing, obviously.
Lands.
Indeed.
Phyrexian Tower, it taps for a generic mana, or you can sacrifice a creature and tap it, and it taps for 2 black.
So it just ends up being a land that just enters untapped, makes black. We have plenty of tokens to make, especially when lands enter.
Yeah.
Mirror Pool is in here. It's an ETB tap land that makes colorless, so you can pay 2 and a colorless, a waste Wingding, to copy an instant or sorcery spell you control, or you can pay 4 and a thingy and tap it and sack it. They're both tap sack. Make a copy of a creature you control.
Yeah, pretty simple.
It's good utility, and it sacrifices itself for Windgrace to just bring it right back.
Yeah. What's this next one do? Because I don't think I know what we put this in the deck recently, actually.
Yeah, this is a nice little combo. It was already in the deck. We didn't add it, but it's Handwear Battlements plus Handwear Garrison. Handwear Garrison is just a 2/3 that makes humans, but it's here because Handwear Garrison or Battlements is the land that we can find easily. It taps for colorless, or you can pay red, tap, give a creature haste. But then they meld into Handwear the Writhing Township if you control both of them and pay the mana on the land. And it's I believe a 7/4, and then when it attacks, it makes 2 3/2s, tap them attacking, and I think it is trample.
That's simple.
I only remember it's 13 total damage.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage coming through at your face. Next one is one of BZ's favorites, Field of the Dead. It enters tapped, and whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 lands with all different names, you get a 2/2 zombie.
This is one of my favorite cards in Magic. This land is so good in Commander, it's ridiculous. I pretty much play it any excuse I get.
I think it's hilarious that it's one of your favorite cards in Magic, because outside of Commander, it's one of the lamest cards in Magic.
It's so bad for competitive Magic, but I love it for Commander.
I think
it's totally rock solid good / fair in Commander.
Yeah, I agree with that. Again, you leave Commander, that card is...
Even Modern is not super thrilled with that card.
It's a disgrace. That card's a disgrace.
It is bad design for competitive. No one cares. Moving on. Basic lands, we've differentiated. We want half snow-covered basics, half regular basics. We can tutor out either one. For this one, I just added one of each snow covered. There's only a couple basics in here. There's less than 12. So I just went 1, 1, 1, and then there's maybe 4 or 5 regular basics. But you need to differentiate because of Field of the Dead.
Yeah. So in the case of a Field of the Dead deck, you just go 2 and 2. You go if you have 4 mountains. If you have 4 mountains, you go 2 regular mountains, 2 snow covered because you just want to be able.
It's such a free roll. You're going to get way more zombies, way more of the time. When you ramp with Cultivate or Explosive Vegetation, not that they're in this deck, but when you ramp to get basics, you can get a forest and a snow-covered forest instead of just 2 forests, putting you behind on zombies.
Yeah, we don't want to fall behind on zombies.
No, Field of the Dead is ridiculous. Just keep that in mind with anything because we're going to keep talking about it. But the next category is Landfall. What are some of those?
I didn't
Landfall.
Like you just said it weird, and I didn't know you were setting me up to start talking. But
I'm always setting you up.
So we got some things that give us tokens when we get Landfall, which obviously Zendikar Royal, which is I said obviously, like everyone knows this card.
Everyone knows Zendikar's Royal.
Yeah, it's actually an uncommon, costs 5 mana. It just sits there because it's an enchantment. But whenever a land enters, you get a 2/2 elemental, correct?
Yep, it's just Field of the Dead, but it's a 5 mana enchantment. We cut Rampaging Ballast from this deck. It makes bigger tokens, but it's a creature. So it's susceptible to all the things that creatures are susceptible to, and it's more expensive. And if you're making any tokens, I almost don't even care what they are.
Yeah, because like I don't want Rampaging Bailout because this next card exists basically is one of the
True, if I'm making creatures, I want them to be ridiculous, like Omnath Locus of Rage. He's a 7 mana 5/5, and then whenever land enters, you get a 5/5. And then whenever an elemental you control dies, you just Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, this card is so much stronger than Rampaging Bailout for 1 more mana. It's insane.
1 more mana, and you just go absolutely you have Windgrace can ramp you into this, and then like you play Windgrace minus, then you plus, then you play this, then you minus, and you get like 4 elementals in one. You just made 25 power. Yeah. Who cares if they board wipe you now? They take 15.
Yeah, and the guy who board wiped you takes 15 because you know you're taking them out.
Yeah, you gotta punish these people.
Next is Lotus Cobra. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you get to make 1 mana of any color. He is a 2 mana 2/1.
It's a little weaker in this deck than it would be in an all fetches deck, but I think it's still definitely an include.
Oh, it's still solid.
We're playing extra lands. We're getting lands back from the graveyard. We're dropping lands with ramp spells. This thing is going to just make all our spells cheaper. It almost says spells you cast cost 1 less.
I mean, it doesn't say anything like that, but because it can do way more than that.
Oh yeah,
card is so sweet. I mean, if you play a land minus Windgrace, get back 2 lands, it made 3 mana for you. That's so good.
Mm-hmm. Couple 3 mana 3/2s that are humans.
How about the card? This card was like printed for this deck.
Evolution Sage. Whenever a land enters your battlefield under your control, proliferate. I don't know if we have any counters in this whole deck. I haven't even looked. I couldn't tell you that we have any other counters besides Lord Windgrace. This just lets you -2 Windgrace every single turn. And if you have lands in your graveyard.
We do.
What? We do. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it was, wait, there was one card popped in my head. Wait a minute. The literal next card gets +1/+1 counters.
The other 2 and a green human 3/2 creature. Tireless Tracker. Whenever a land enters into the field, you investigate. I almost said proliferate. Proliferate. They're so close.
You cavestigate.
You proliferate. Anyway, clues have 2 tap sack draw card. Well, 2 sack draw card. Yeah, so every land is a potential card draw.
Also, whenever you sacrifice a clue, Tireless Tracker gets a +1/+1 counter.
Oh yeah,
synergizing. I mean, that's what that's the synergy with Evolution Stage. You can't leave that out.
Well, what if the next card also had counters on it? It's 3 black for a 3/3. It's Omnixus the Fallen. Whenever land enters under your control, someone loses 3 and he gets 3 +1/+1 counters.
He gets bigger.
We look real stupid.
Yeah,
there's nothing.
There's nothing. The next 2 cards, and I thought of another one right away.
Yeah. Well, that's going to just fireball somebody. We have ways to put a bunch of lands into play. If you can just deal 6 to somebody for free, gets around combat, forget that whole crap. You just boom.
Boom, boom.
And the next category, because we're moving through this real fast, is graveyard synergies. What kind of graveyard synergy we got?
Usually lands graveyard synergies because what kind of deck are we playing? Oh, yeah.
Land matter. Yeah.
Well, lands matter. So the first ones are Crucible World, Ramming Investigator. What was that? Ramming App Excavator. They both cost 3 mana. One is a 2/3 for 2 and a green. The other one costs 3 generic for an artifact.
Artifact's better.
Yeah, obviously much better. You can play lands from your graveyard. Simple.
Perfect. Life from the Loam has Dredge 3, and it says 2 mana, return 3 lands. 3 lands. If we can just play them all, that just says put 3 lands into play. And it dredges to put lands in your graveyard. Life from the Loam is amazing. It does it all. And then my personal pet card, which is quickly becoming one of my favorite cards ever, Underrealm Lich, 3 black green for a 4/3. If you would draw a card, you look at the top 3, put 1 in your hand and 2 in your graveyard, and then you can pay 4 life, tap them, and he gains indestructible. The tapping is not a cost, so you can keep doing it.
No, that's
That card is insane. I have felt like lately when I get it out, I just get to do whatever I want.
whatever you want.
I might not guaranteed win, but my deck's going to do its thing.
Oh, okay.
It's going to fill your graveyard so fast. And you can't deck as a little bonus, and it's hard to kill.
You can't deck with it out. You
Right,
can't
with it out. It's not like, it doesn't give you an emblem.
Yeah.
Assuming it is out.
Uh,
Well, you can't pay 4 life to give it indestructible if it's not out.
That's true. The Gitrog monster. This is a nice little beefy body. 5/5 for
6/6.
6/6 for 5.
That's Death Touch, just in case.
Yeah, and you have to sacrifice a land on your upkeep. You can play an additional land each turn. Whenever a land is put in the graveyard, you draw a card from anywhere.
So something I learned yesterday while playing against a friend, Underrealm Lich and Gitrog monster is ridiculous.
Yep.
Every time you draw a card, instead you look at 3. If any of them is a land, you just put it in your graveyard and do it again.
Yes,
It lets you almost draw your whole deck.
it is definitely a wombo combo that you could potentially draw your whole deck if mathematically that's very possible.
You could certainly mill most of your deck, draw the key cards you need, and then we can talk about how you win later.
How do we win? Oh, we don't yet because we're still in graveyard
We
synergies.
can't win until we talk about these next 2 cards.
What is so the Mending of Dominaria? This is a strange one. It's a saga.
Oh yeah,
Is it
Saga and EDH.
Yeah, it costs 5 mana. So the first thing you do, you put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. Then you may return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Second thing you do, the same exact thing. Third thing you do is you return all lands from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then shuffle your library into your graveyard.
Wow, that sounds terrible. Instead, I think what it should say is you shuffle your graveyard into your library. Because otherwise, then you just have no library and you lose.
No, that card might be better because you just ways to abuse that.
Kinda. Not in this deck. That'd be
Right.
terrible. I would take out that fake mending. That sounds horrible.
Yeah, we're gonna put our graveyard into our library and shuffle it up.
Yeah, so that part is actually the worst. The little back half of that, I want all lands in the graveyard into play. That's amazing. That's going to give us 1,000 triggers of everything. The shuffling is fine. We'll take it. It's worth getting 6 or 7 lands in play.
Sex lands.
Sucks. Like it sounded like I said sex, but it didn't even sound like that.
I heard sex lands.
Sex lands.
Another way to get all our lands back from our graveyard is World Shaper, which is also in this deck.
Oh yeah, 4 mana 3/3. When it attacks, you mill 3. When it dies, get all your lands back.
Yeah.
Same with Splendid Reclamation. It's just 4 mana, get all your lands back.
Yeah. So yeah, we just have other ways to get all those lands. We put a ton of them in the graveyard, bring them all back, and suddenly we just have 85 mana.
This card was in the deck, and we didn't cut it because it's really fun and cool. It's Underworld Breach. 1 and a red for an enchantment. All your stuff in your graveyard is castable, but you got to escape 3 cards and pay the mana cost.
I'm not sure if there's a combo in this deck with
There
it.
isn't a combo or anything. It's just value.
Yeah.
You're just going to play it, get back 2 or 3 things, and then if it doesn't get answered, use the excess stuff in your graveyard. This is a good way to take advantage of like the Mending of Dominaria. If you have cards that you're about to shuffle in that you don't care about, you just exile them.
I mean, it's a nombo with the Mending of Dominaria, usually.
Well, you don't escape lands. You escape the non-lands you don't care about.
But what I was saying, but it specifically has to be after, like,
Well, if you have both,
yeah, but then like if it goes off, then it just
if it goes off and then your next draw is Underworld Breach, you're a little sad.
It's a little nombo.
But we don't care, obviously, because it's still in the deck. But now we get to go on to winning the game.
Winning the game category?
Yes.
So
every deck has to win. How does this one win?
This one wins. Well, for first, we have Anger. There's a lot of creatures in this deck, a lot of tokens and stuff. We'll get into what those are. And we're just gonna beat in with them because throwing Anger into our graveyard with something like Lord Windgrace?
That's the first thing I thought of.
That
What
was
does Anger do?
That was the first thing I thought of too. Anger is what is he? He has haste.
Yep.
He costs 4 mana.
Mhm.
He's a 3/3.
He's a 2/2.
Oh no. He's a 2/2. And if he's in your graveyard and you control a mountain, creatures you control have haste.
Okay. That's also kind of a number with Mending, but settle down. It's not that big of a deal. Mending is literally the only card that does that. You can play Mending early and it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah. And if you don't like Mending, cut Mending. We didn't cut Mending.
Sure. Build your own deck and then you don't have to play Mending in it.
Yeah.
But if I hand you this deck, it's going to have Mending in it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Anger, just the static haste is about to be insane because we have so many ways to put a bajillion creatures in play, like these next 2 cards.
Yeah. Now, what's the next one?
Well, the next one is Worm Harvest. I love this card. It's 2 and a bunch of Golgari hybrids, so it's 5 mana for a sorcery. Put X 1/1 Worm tokens into play, where X is the number of lands in your graveyard, which is going to be a fair amount.
At least one.
But the best part is it has Retrace, so you can cast it from your graveyard by discarding a land. So not only does the land add a worm to the total, this is unstoppable. They have to exile your graveyard or you're going to get worms forever. It doesn't matter if they have a board wipe. It doesn't, you're just going to have inevitability.
New note. I just cut Mending of Dominaria.
No.
Yes, I did. It's gone.
It's not gone.
I'm cutting it.
No, it's fine. It's totally reasonable.
It's Nombos with so many cards.
It's so splendid reclamation Nombos with this card. But when you get either half, you're going to win. It's irrelevant. What's the next one? Get your mind off it.
Avenger of Zendikar. It's a 7-mana 5/5. When it enters the battlefield, you get 0/1 plant tokens equal to the number of lands you control. And then whenever a land enters the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 counter on all plants you control.
This is what the other thing we were thinking of was.
Yes.
For Evolution Sage.
I mean, this is like so good with Evolution Sage.
It's a little silly. If you play it and you play 2 lands, it's probably lethal on somebody. Yeah. They're going to get wrecked. They all have haste. It's over.
You just got to think about it because in a deck where you're only ramping your lands out, it's automatically getting 7 plants. So it's already insane.
Worth its weight in gold in terms of power, toughness to mana spent. It's just like Omnath. You're going to make a trillion things. And I normally hate this card, but it's good in a lands matter deck, which this is.
It's good in lands matter. It's good in tokens.
And it's good when it has haste.
Yes. And it's good when it's really, really, really good when it has haste.
Oh, yeah. These next two, these are some big boys. Kozilek Great Distortion is 10 mana, 8 and 2 wastes mana. It's 12/12 menace. When you cast it, you draw cards up to 7, and then you can counter a spell by discarding a card that costs the same as the spell.
Yeah. So things like Phyrexian Tower, which we talked about earlier in Field of the Dead,
you thought it was a downside.
They have an extra little thing of helping us cast this card. This card is a big fat fatty. He hits super hard, and on top of that, he's countering spells. So he just does a lot of things.
The Jund deck is now protecting itself. The Jund deck is going to counter your board wipe.
Hopefully.
Good luck with that. That sounds difficult to beat. Who's the next big boy?
Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger. He is a 10 mana 10/10. And when you cast him, you can exile any 2 permanents. And when he attacks, you exile a top 20 cards of the defending player's library.
And?
Indestructible.
He's indestructible. There's no killing him.
I was wondering what I forgot. I feel like did I forget something?
Yes.
I forgot one keyword. Yes, it's a good keyword.
It's one of the better ones to have. These guys are ridiculously huge. They can close games even if you're not doing a lands thing. If you have a bad draw and you just ramp into Kozilek, you might just win.
Oh yeah, Kozilek's so strong. It's big fat fatty. Attacks, exiling the top cards of libraries, potentially getting rid of certain combos and certain decks.
Hit the combo player. Oops.
Hope
there wasn't anything good in there.
Remove the best 2 permanents off the battlefield and have a threat that's...
And these effects are uncounterable.
Yeah, so good.
And I wanted to figure we throw in Pattern of Rebirth also in this deck. Throw it on your janky elemental token, your stupid zombie token, your Omnath token. It's going to die because that's how things work. Oh, Porous Board Wipe? Oops. I bet you didn't see this Kozilek coming.
Ugh. I mean, they probably did.
Well, the best thing also is you could respond in Phyrexian Tower or High Market, one of your creatures, put out Kozilek, and then counter their spell.
Ugh, that's not nice.
That's not nice at all, but I would do it.
But, yeah. Would you?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to know it for sure. This is the real win con. This is the
best card of the deck?
Gomer Bagel? For sure. Yeah, definitely. It's Scapeshift. It is 2 green for a sorcery. You can sacrifice any number of lands you control. For each land sacrificed, you search your library for a land, put it onto the battlefield, tapped. There you go.
And then shuffle.
And then shuffle your library. I mean, this is if we had a higher budget, I always like going the route of what's it called?
Valakut?
Of Valakut.
Valakut was not in this deck, and our budget was $150. We came a little close. I didn't want to add a $20 or $30 card, especially when it's so obvious that if, everyone knows that Valakut's good in this deck. So if he has the budget for Valakut, sure, go buy it.
And here's the thing with also wanting to have Valakut, you also have to have Vesuva.
Isn't Vesuva getting up there?
It's like 20. It's like the same amount as Valakut. They're both like $25 cards.
Yeah, that would put us over budget.
Which, yeah, so the ads just couldn't be made there to really make this deck work like that.
It's not even that huge of a deal. Anger is a perfectly fine substitute because guess what? If you have 13 lands in play and you play Scapeshift and Anger's in your graveyard, that's at least 13 zombies because you're going to get Field of the Dead.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely super strong still. Great. You still get to go get your best lands. You're getting Urborg, you're getting Cabal Coffers now. You're
just in case if you don't win.
Yeah.
Just now you have that.
Yeah. Now you just have 1 million mana to make. Another thing with Scapeshift is if you want to talk about why it's so expensive, if you have to get you want to get Prismatic Omen in that version too.
Well, but there's a replacement. We play Naked Dryad Boy, the 3-mana 2/4 that has the same text.
Oh yeah,
That's the total budget replacement for that.
Oh yeah, Naked Dryad Boy is awesome.
Forget Prismatic Omen now.
Yeah, no, Naked Dryad Boy is just better.
Omen probably is going to drop in price. That's the card that sees Modern play now.
It's still a lot of money.
Yeah, well, just probably price memory. But Scapeshift is insane. You can go off if you play Avenger and have enough mana for Scapeshift and they have haste. They're done. There's no way that game is going to continue short of Cyclonic Rift.
Ugh. But let's just say you float. Let's see, 16 mana. You had a lot of mana. You're doing good. You're doing good.
Okay.
You had 16 mana. You cast your Scapeshift.
Yep.
Okay. You get your Feel of the Dead.
Now you have 12 mana.
Now you have 12. You have 12 mana left.
Mm-hmm.
You got
16.
So you got 16 zombies because your Feel of the Dead went off, and now you have 12 mana left to use a random card. Let's say Finale of Devastation X equals 10.
But you don't have Anger.
But you don't have Anger. Oh wait.
Finale of Devastation gives +10/+10 haste, and you get to search for a 10 drop from your graveyard or library and just put it out.
So
that's going to do it. I think that should be enough. If 250 damage out of nowhere is enough.
What am I sad? The saddest thing about this card's very good, very awesome.
It's so good. It is going to be one of the better cards in any creature deck.
It's sad to me that it can't work with one of our best cards in the deck, Avengers Zendikar. I would love to be able to do that.
What, that you can't get it and then because the Avengers gets haste and the plants don't.
Yeah, the Avenger gets the plus and the haste, but
and then the trigger resolves after the spell.
And then you just have a bunch of old ones. It's like, but they wanted the buff too.
It's okay. Dry your tears by smashing your opponents for thousands.
I mean, yeah, the math that we just how much damage?
16. So it's 160 plus 32.
So it's 160, 32. That's and plus what
200 damage
plus whatever you got.
Yeah. So it's about 200
approximately
with an empty board and Scapeshift and Finale in your hand. It's about 200. Feel that that's pretty good. We only ended up spending $103 on this deck. I wanted to keep it lower if we could. Those $25 cards, really, we're not going to add anything like that super crazy expensive. Certainly not a bunch of them. I like staying under budget. Just because we have 150 doesn't mean we need to spend exactly 150.
Yeah, I mean, that's never... I mean, if the goal was to spend all the money, that'd be strange.
That would be a little weird.
Where it's like, I have $150 to spend on Magic cards. I'm going to spend this $150 on Magic cards and nothing else.
I have a gift card to Magic product. I can't use anywhere else.
Only singles. They only let me get singles.
They only let me get singles.
They won't let me join the pre-release.
Oh, but that was the deck. What was your favorite card?
My favorite card in this deck?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Scapeshift.
Feel the Dead, I think, for me. It even beats Underrealm Lich, but we'll see. Maybe that shifts.
Like, I'm a huge... Like, Scapeshift's one of those cards where I think it's so lame in, like, Modern. I think it's a lame,
but it's really cool in Commander.
But it's super cool in Commander.
This is the lame and Modern, cool in Commander deck.
Yeah, if you make Scapeshift work in your deck, it's awesome.
I don't even have a problem getting Valakut'd out. It's cool.
Yeah, in Commander, not a problem with that.
You built your deck right. That's all singleton. I got to respect it. That was this deck. I do want to mention real quick before you do shoutouts that we have to. We said in the beginning, but I'll go again. We have to kind of cut back the tune-ups to patrons and donations only. We originally said, anyone is welcome to have it, and that was fine. Just getting to a lot of requests, and this is going to be a huge year for Commander at the very least. So kind of like until further notice.
Yeah, that's probably how it's going to be from here on out. It's not like we're trying to be like, give us your money. It's just like we can't really afford right now to go into the comments and just pick from there because there's so many.
So that's where we stand on tune-ups. What about shout-outs? Shout-outs.
Shout-outs, special shout-outs to all of our patrons. We love you guys all as much as we can without making you uncomfortable. You guys really make this channel stay together and just keep going, and everything's getting upgraded. We're
growing. We're growing pretty fast.
You guys should be ready because let's see. In the next 2 months, we will have a new setup.
Mm-hmm. Some sort of studio.
We don't know what it's going to look like at all. We really just don't know. We're going to have a new setup. We're going to have new mics within the next week or so.
I'd say week and a half.
Maybe 2 weeks.
Guaranteed. Because we've hit every hurdle and we passed it. We have everything we need almost.
Yes, we're so close. This channel just keeps growing. And if you want to support us and you don't want to do it monthly like on Patreon, you can go to buymeacoffee.com. It's a digital tip jar. Go there, throw a digital tip at us.
I I think I trust them to know what tip jars are.
Do you?
I also trust them to go to the link in the TCG player because that's where you see the deck list. Link in the description for TCG player. That's where you see the deck list. And also, while you're there, you might as well navigate to the cards you want to buy. Buy them because we get a kickback on it, and it helps us buy stuff.
Yeah, and we like upgrading the channel.
We like buying stuff.
We like buying stuff,
But only for the channel.
Yeah, we go to the store and we just make it rain. That's all we do with all of our money.
What about tidbit?
A tidbit?
Yeah. About our life, preferably.
Okay, this is just random. I never associated.
Yeah, I knew you were going to go here.
I mean, it just came up. I never really associated making it rain with being sexual.
It just is.
I know that it is something that is done in the strip club, but I just assumed
It's done nowhere else.
I assumed you could do it somewhere else. I didn't think it had sexual connotation.
No, if anyone says make it rain, there's a sexual connotation to that. I need to see it in the comments. I need you to prove him wrong so we can get an overwhelming majority on make it rain is not. I wouldn't say make it rain in public even really.
What?
Well, I mean, if I'm talking to you, but I wouldn't just go make it rain like in a public scene. People would look at me and like that's not.
I would make that joke. I don't see. I have
You've never made a joke like that.
But that joke, I have said make it rain.
No, but
before.
you've never like gone in public and made a scene. Like I wouldn't.
Okay, yeah, but I wouldn't go in public and make a scene about anything.
Sure, I guess I don't. It's not like an acceptable thing to really. If someone sees you do it, they'll probably be like, whether you care or not, that's up in the air.
I know I've made a make it rain joke at Collectors Inn.
That's our local game store.
Yes, I've definitely done that before.
Yeah, I mean that's a little different than like the grocery store.
I'm not gonna do anything stupid in the grocery store.
Anyway, tell us in the comments that Joe's wrong, and it's associated with basically only one thing.
I don't agree with that.
What else is it associated with? You've never said anything.
Literally making it rain money. Like you can, like
where
people do, like rappers do it at concerts.
It's secretly a strip club.
It's not a strip club.
They're paid actors.
Peace out, Tribe Scouts.